just boat after boat after boat. Marcy says she thinks it's too soon. There are too many people who will fail to take precautions and will endanger themselves and others. Yeah, it's always the other people who ruin it for everybody, right? Kathy says that she's ready with caution. Megan says, I'm thinking open, but with restrictions. I'm thinking beginning to mid-June around here, which is in my neighborhood, she says, which I know, of course, it would have to be the whole state. I just know we are in better shape than up north. North Jersey is predominantly where most of the cases are. The people who are close to New York, they are the ones that are contracting the majority of the cases in the state of New Jersey. Megan goes on to say that if people want to go out, they will. If people do not, well, they're not going to. I don't see myself running right out when it does open. I don't see them opening school for the rest of this year. And I'm even thinking when they go back in September, it's going to be in a new way. Smaller classes, it's going to be different for a while if they even go back then. Now, I have just posted a video of a doctor talking about how we are all compromising our own immune system by doing what we have done for the last 2 months. I posted it on this thread of the question, are you in favor of reopening or do you think it's too soon? Take some time to check that out if you would like. This doctor says that we have all compromised our own immune systems by quarantining and being extra vigilant. I'm not saying that, I'm telling you what the doctor said. He said that, the massive cleaning and the massive Lysol wiping everything down is weakening our immune system. This part I'm sure he's right on is the way that you have a strong immune system is you're around things, bacteria and germs and stuff like that, and that builds your system to tolerate these things. Now that we've all been hunkered down, sheltering in place for the last 2 months, we more than likely have all compromised our immune systems because we have not been around any bacteria, germs, what have you. Again, this is according to the doctor. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I mean, certainly what some of what he says is makes sense to me. But here's my question, and he doesn't really address this, is, okay, well, what now? What now? I mean, according to him, it's inevitable that there's going to be a spike in sickness, whether it be COVID or something else, once people start venturing out of their house again, because everybody's immune system is now compromised. Okay, this is the question I want answered. What now? Now that we've done this, how do we get back out safely? He didn't address that, unfortunately. But it's a pretty interesting video if you want to check it out. Like I said, it's posted in the comments of the question, do you think it's too soon to reopen or are you in favor? So there you go. I'm going to move on to today's blog post. This week, a brand new week of #Hopefulist Challenge. It is day 22. Day 22 of the challenge. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you feeling better? Are you getting better? We're talking about mindset all this month. This week, we're going to talk about faith. Having faith will carry you far in this life. But first, you need to figure out a way to love yourself if you haven't been able to do that yet. Now, here's the thing. This is not going to come as a shock to you. We are all flawed. There is no such thing as a perfect human. We have all done things that we aren't proud of. We all have something about ourselves that we wish were different. But guess what? Sometimes even those parts of our personality we really want to change can serve a great purpose. I'm not saying you shouldn't try to improve yourself or try to diminish the flaws you don't like, but once you realize that even the parts of you don't like can do some good, my hope is that you will be easier on yourself. For example, I would not be living this life that I put together a little collage of pictures of life here at the Jersey Shore around my house. I would not be living this life if I wasn't a rash and reactive person. This is a fault that I have definitely gotten better under control, as I should, because it's they're not great traits. Rarely serve someone well. But in my case, it did at one point. And here's my story. If you've been with me for a while and you know I love you most, you've heard this story before. My husband and I were living in a condo in Pennsylvania. When people tell you that condo boards are like little dictatorships, believe them. They can do whatever they want, whenever they want, regardless of what the community as a whole wants. They can also raise their fees for any reason with nothing more than a notice sent to you in the mail. Even then, they don't have to follow their own rules. And you are in for a real battle if you try to fight them. This is part of where my unraveling began. I was already in a fight with the condo board over a parking spot that I used. Now, I had requested a switch of spots due to the mud overflow that my assigned spot got every time it rained. I lived at this place for 6 years. I think about a year, 2 years in, I requested to have my spot changed because there was like just this mud overflow that came over a wall, and it just mud everywhere at this spot, which, you know, I'm stepping mud every time I need to get in and out of the car. So, you know, I had to go through the proper channels with a written request that had to be approved, and it was. Fast forward a couple of years. Now I'm being told I'm using the wrong spot, and I need to move back to my previous spot. Clearly, I'm already on edge with this situation when my first condo fee notice comes due, and it is above the 8% increase I was told was being enacted. It was, in fact, 12%. When I told the board of the mistake, they said it wasn't a mistake, that it would be 12%. That whatever was in the official paperwork that they sent me, that was where the mistake was. So apparently they can say whatever they want in official paperwork and then change it anyway. Was I frustrated? Yeah. Was I the type of owner I was pretty sure they wanted to attract to the community? I lived there instead of renting it out. I paid my condo fees on time every month. I kept my property looking nice and didn't cause trouble. Well, much trouble. I thought the harassment I was going through was exactly why people didn't want to purchase property there. So because of other actions that are just way too long to get into, other actions that the condo board took, property values had dropped at the time about $30,000 overnight. Like I said, way too long of a story to get into here. But we were basically upside down on our mortgage. I didn't think we could sell without taking a loss. But I was so angry and so wanted to send a message to the condo board that they pushed me far enough to put my unit on the market. Not that I thought that they would care. It just made me feel better to do something. Like I said, my reactiveness. So we listed it thinking we would never get the offer we needed to break even. And when I say break even, that doesn't account for the 20% down payment that was put down at purchase. That will be lost forever. But luckily for me, I keep a nice house, have a flair for decorating, because we actually received an asking price offer on the condo within 5 days. I had put the house up for sale just to send a message, and now we can actually get the heck out of here. Babe, where are we moving to? So that was when we decided to move to the Jersey Shore full time. We would be renting, so we both wanted to see if we could hack the commute back and forth to the Philly area. It's about an hour and a half commute each way. If it didn't work out, then we could, move forward with a plan to move closer to work. We both, though, loved living here full time. Within a year, we started looking to purchase our own piece of paradise. Another thing I didn't think we would be able to afford, but it truly is amazing what you can pull off when you are motivated enough. We found our dream home and are living our happily ever after. All of this was because of that one rash and reactive decision. If the condo board wouldn't have pissed me off to the point of putting our condo on the market, who knows where we would be living right now. Hopefully it would not still be in that condo. I do not recommend counting on your faults for good things to happen. That's not what I'm trying to say. They are, but they can actually serve a purpose at times. Like I mentioned, I've gotten a lot better in this respect. But I'm not so hard on myself for some of the traits of my personality that I consider to be flaws. We're always striving to be better. And most of us do get better over time. That's part of the life process. In the words of Maya Angelou, when we know better, we do better. Let yourself off the hook. You're doing the best you can. Here is what I would like for you to do. I want you to take a flaw or a fault that you wish you didn't have and look for a situation where that very trait brought something good into your life. It doesn't have to be a move or a house or whatever. It could be anything. What is something good that happened because of that trait? And realize that even bad traits aren't always horrible. It is Monday already. It is my favorite day of the week. After Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, of course. It's a brand new week full of possibilities and opportunities. So how will you use this week? Go do something great, because I believe in you, and I believe you can do great things. I'm cheering you on. Now go make today your best day yet.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit Hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
It's day 22 of the Hopefulist Challenge, 30 days to feeling better.